Welcome to the top 10 most anticipated comics for November 29th, 2023. Guys, I'm Mike Spider-Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. It's never too early to start that pull list for next week, and hopefully this list helps you make decisions on what comic books to buy. Guys, before we dive into it, I just gotta give a quick shout out to Whatnot. Guys, in my description box below, there is a link to Whatnot. Once you click on that link and you set up your profile and then make your first purchase on Whatnot by winning an auction, you guys will get a $15 credit. So if you're looking for a particular comic book, or if you're a collector of Pops and action figures, Hot Wheels, whatever the case may be, just use that link in the description box below. $15 off. It's absolutely for free, and it does help support the channel. So thank you so much. All right, so here we go. The book that's on the hot seat. We have Titans Beast World. This is issue 1. I don't know, guys. I am really on the fence about this. The last couple of DC events have really sucked big time, especially Night Terrors. And I'm not a real, Beast Boy fan, you know, and he's like the biggest threat to the DC universe now, and I'm like, okay. I feel like I have to try it out, though, for the Worthy Ones series, so I'm probably going to wind up buying it, but I am real hesitant on this comic book. Hopefully it's good. It's obviously going to change the DC universe again after we've just gotten another reboot from it just in the past year. Well, kind of, anyway. But this one is 48 pages, and this one, $6. Let's pay attention to the prices of these, okay? So now we move on to the book that's on the rise. And the book that's on the rise goes to Marvel Zombies. This is, the black, red, and white. I forgot to write down the title of this. And what I liked about the first issue was, you know, yes, it's an anthology book, and I'm not a fan of anthology books, and they're kind of throwaways. And this one, I think, is like $6 for 36 pages. But the stories in it were really good, and you had really good writers that actually wrote this. And the good story in here was the last one was a Spider-Man story, and there was a Moon Knight story, and there was a Daredevil story, and the Daredevil story was very emotional, and it didn't even say very much, and Daredevil didn't speak all that much, but based off of what was going on, you really felt for that character. And for a throwaway Spider-Man story, it really pulled at the heartstrings a little bit, because great power came great responsibility, and Peter trying to protect his loved ones from becoming zombies. So curious to see where this one is going to go going forward, but like I said, it's 36 pages and $6. Top 10 now. We have Firepower. This is issue 29. This is the penultimate issue. We're getting close to the end. Issue 30 is the finale of this whole thing. And really, it's been a stall, okay, for the most part, where we've gotten to see Owen Johnson, who's this big firepower, you know, he controls like fire, and he's able to make fireballs, and he's learned that lost art. And now lately, him and his family have been battling this big gigantic dragon. And this was a comic that was very grounded. It was very family oriented, reminded me of very many ways of Invincible, but it kind of lost its way. They're focusing on this dragon too much until we got to the last issue, in issue 29, where they fought, or where they got this letter, and the dragon attacked their grandfather's hometown, and the grandfather died. And it was just, oh man, it was rough. And Robert Kirkman has a way of doing that to its readers. You read and read and read and read. There might not be that much progression, and then there's this one issue where you're just like, oh, and there's the payoff, right? So of course I want to see how this thing concludes. This second to last issue is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Moving on to number 9. You're going to see a lot of these on here, guys. We have Miles Morales, Spider-Man. This is issue 12. Gang War First Strike. So this is all going to lead into the whole gang war stuff. I'm going to be reading a lot of this, probably most of it. And but first we have to have a story conclusion where Miles Morales is teaming up with Blade, doing battle against vampires. He's wearing some goofy suit. Was not a fan of the last issue. Overall, though, besides the current story arc that's going on, this has been a really good book, in my opinion. Great artwork as well. Curious to see how the gang war is going to tie into all this. The legacy numbering here is 294, 28 pages, $4. Moving on to number 8. Luke Cage, Gang War issue 1. So this is the Gang War First Strike, and it looks like Luke Cage has been missing out and, you know, getting in the action in here. So I think this could be a lot of fun. And, you know, he's not going to just stand behind the desk and be mayor anymore. And so for fans of Luke Cage, this might be something that you've been waiting for. Again, it ties into the whole gang war. What's going to happen here? I guess Danny Rand might be in here, Power Fist. So I don't know. We'll see. 36 pages, $5. All right, here we go. Coming in at number 7, we have XMen Blue. This is Origins issue 1. This is titled The Definitive Nightcrawler Origin Story. Whatever you know about Nightcrawler, I guess it's supposed to change now, guys. I don't know. So it says, this is the one you can't miss, true believer. The thing you know, how the beloved Blue Devil came into this troubled world. You think you know the tale of him and his mom, Mystique. You don't. What does it say? You don't. Mother and son reunite in a mold-shattering tale that exposes secrets held for decades and redefines both characters forever. So this is, again, like a retelling of the origin story. Now, you guys might not agree with this. You're probably going to say, why do I need to have a retold origin story, or why change things up? There's no need for it, right? So I'm curious. I want to know in the comments below, are you guys going to pass this one up or pick it up? 40 pages, $6. Coming in at number 6, this is Edenwood. This is issue 2. This is done by Tony S. Daniel. Very interesting first story. There's about this guy who lost like his girlfriend in the woods because she was searching for the dog. Okay, and then all of a sudden he's come across this demon slayer. It's not demon slayer, it's like demon killer or something like that, whatever. And time moves a lot differently, so anything can happen in this world. And at the end of it, he's like the next like demon killer, and then he reunites with his friends, and they're like, oh my god, what's has happened to you? Gorgeous artwork by Tony S. Daniel. I love the first issue. I think there's a lot that can go on that can mess with your brain in this comic, but great artwork, like I said. Interesting story. 24 pages, $4. Top 5. Predator vs. Wolverine issue 3. So I'll be the first one to admit, you guys knew that Mike Spider Slayer was not going to buy this comic book going forward after the first issue because it was $6. But I gave it a try. It wasn't a heavy week, so I decided to buy it. And issue 2 for me was much better than issue 1. And now we have Wolverine, who is going to be, you know, fighting against the Predator during the Weapon X times. So that's going to be pretty interesting. The artwork was more consistent. I like the action in the last issue. So I'm on board with this all the way through. I think it's what, 4 issues maybe? So I think it's worth it. 28 pages, $6. You might not think so. Coming in at number 4, we have Green Arrow issue 6. So we have Green Arrow, who's been time traveling or going to different places amongst the universe, right? Things have been messed up since the Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, and we found out that kind of like Parallax has been taking him from place to place, which I think is kind of cool because it's a Green Lantern thing, and I feel like these two comic books, Green Lantern and Green Arrow, will cross over eventually. And then in the last issue, you wind up getting to see all these like different versions of like Green Arrow. So it's like a Green Arrow verse. Do we really need that? I don't know. But the book has been really entertaining. I've enjoyed it. This one is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Top 3, we have Spiderwoman. This is issue 1, Gang War First Strike. So another book that is, you know, being involved in the gang war, and I feel like one of the most recent Spider-Woman series was kicked off based off of an event as well, but it turned out pretty good, in my opinion anyway. So in this one, we're going to have Jessica Drew make her way into this world, and you know, I'm on board with it. I love Jessica Drew as a character. I feel like she's back wearing her classic iconic costume. I love her power set, and she's one of those characters that I feel should have an ongoing book, or if not, a mini series every once in a while. She's she's been around much longer than like Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales and all these other Spider characters, and I feel like she's underutilized and we need to use her more. So I'm definitely going to support this comic book. Legacy numbering 117. The page count here is 40 pages. Excuse me, I did not write the price. Coming in at number 2. Amazing Spider-Man Gang War First Strike. It's all about the gang war. It has its own separate issue. It's a prelude to gang war. And what can I say, guys? Do I have high expectations for this event based off of everything that's been going on in the Amazing Spider-Man book that Zeb Wells has written? No, right? So maybe it might be better than expected. The one thing that Zeb Wells has done well is he's written the Kraven storyline pretty good, and he wrote the Tombstone and all the street level heroes pretty good as well. So I'm being optimistic. I'm always going to be optimistic. I'm going to throw this down the toilet. And no matter what, you know, people ask me, why don't you just drop Spider-Man? Spider-Man is my favorite hero. He's a lot of people's favorite heroes. And I've been reading since 313 continuously. I'm not going to stop now. I go through the ups and downs. I know there's been more downs recently, but I'm going to continue going. Again, 36 pages, $6. Okay, so guys, remember, after number 1, we're not done, as we do have those noteworthy comic books to discuss, because, you know, just because I'm showing you 10 comic books here, these might not be on your radar. The noteworthy books might be on your radar, or I might jog your memory going, oh shit, that does come out this week. So that's what we're going to talk about. All right, so let's go into my number 1 most anticipated comic for the week. And this one goes to Something is Killing the Children. This is issue 35. So Erica Slaughter has been through the ringer in this most recent story arc. She has been hunted down. She's had emotional breakdowns. She's had people in her life killed that trained her. And it looks like this time in this issue, it looks like Erica and the woman that's been chasing her by the name of Cutter face off for one final confrontation. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see this. The Cutter character is insane. She's brutal. She plays games. She's like a Joker in this world. So really enjoy it. I can't wait for it. It's 32 pages, and this one is $4. Noteworthy comic books. As always, we started off with Marvel Comics. And the first one we're talking about today is Moon Knight. This is issue 29. I think issue 30 is the one where Moon Knight actually dies. Next, we have Captain America. This is issue 3. Then we move on to Miss Marvel, the New Mutant, issue 4. Then we have another X book. We have Realm of X, issue 4. Then we have, for the Howard Duck fans out there, we have Howard the Duck. This is issue 1. And then we move on to DC Comics, which I feel like there's a lot of DC Comics for this particular comic book week. We have Detective Comics issue 1078. Then we move on to Action Comics issue 1059. We have the continuation of The Flash. This is issue 3. I really need to know in the comments below how many of you guys dropped Flash at this point, or are you still sticking with it? Then we have Harley Quinn, issue 34. Next, we move on to Batman, the Brave and the Bold. This is issue 7. We have Tom King's Batman, excuse me. We have Tom King's The Penguin. This is issue 4. Next, we have Power Girl, issue 3, which I think I'm dropping. And then we have Green Lantern, issue 2. This is the Alan Scott series. And then for the Batman 89 fans, we have Batman 89 Echoes, issue 1. Moving on to the indie scene now, we have Grimm. This is issue 15. Then we have Conan the Barbarian, issue 5, which a lot of people are really enjoying that series. I'm almost regretting that I did not try it out, right? Then we have the continuation of Local Man, issue 7, which I'm not saying it's a bad series, but the break that it took really killed the momentum, and I totally forgot what's going on in it, so I think I might be dropping it. Then we have Alice Never After. This is issue 5. We have a new Berserker comic. We have Berserker Fallen Empire issue 1. And then we have Crave. This is issue 1. And then we have a new Barbaric series, Barbaric Wrong Kid of the Righteous issue 1. And then we have from Ryan Stegman, The Schlub issue 4. So there you guys have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated and noteworthy comics for, what was the date? 11/29/2023. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Anything that you want to say, just leave it in the comments below. And if you love the content, I'll leave you more content right here, guys. And just a quick note, probably will not be stopping at the comic book shop on New Comic Book Day. I got family in town. I'm spending time with them. So you'll probably see the haul on Friday. So as always, guys, remember, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but more importantly, always read those comics. Guys, I'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye.